Two women are sitting around a coffee table, looking at a magazine together. Exhibit 12.1, Credit. OISD/Flickr/attribution to generic, CC by 2. Learning outcomes. After reading this chapter, you should be able to answer these questions. What is the nature and function of distribution, place? What is wholesaling, and what are the types of wholesalers? What are the different kinds of retail operations? How can supply chain management increase efficiency and customer satisfaction? What is promotion, and what are the key elements of a promotional mix? How are advertising media selected? What is personal selling? What are the goals of a sales promotion, and what are several types of sales promotion? How does public relations fit into the promotional mix? What is social media, and how has it changed promotion? What is e-commerce, and how does it affect promotion? Exploring business careers. Steve Peel, Harley-Davidson. A road not taken is the next adventure waiting. Live to ride, ride to live. These are just a few of the creeds that Harley riders live by. Whether it's the vision of the open road, the shine of chrome, or the smell of dust mixed with exhaust, people are drawn to Harley-Davidson motorcycles. How often do you see someone with Honda tattooed on their chest? Harleys are the stuff that dreams and identities are made of. Steve Peel, who was the director of communications at Harley-Davidson before retiring in 2015, helped shape people's dreams for more than 25 years. He used traditional marketing channels such as print, radio, and television advertising. However, Harley also, understandably, approaches marketing non-traditionally. The focus of Harley marketing is not selling a product, but selling an experience. Peel explains, the difference of that experience is what has given us success. We don't categorize what that experience is. We leave it up to people to make it their own. For some, a Harley is a ticket to freedom. For others, it is a knockout ride to work. Harley's promotion of accessories supports this idea. As Peel says, no two Harleys on the street are the same. A part of the purchasing process is a meeting with a chrome consultant who can help with customizing and accessorizing your bike. In this way, the bike becomes part of one's identity. Part of Harley's focus on experience is its support of motorcycle riding as a sport. On its website and at the dealerships, it provides tips and classes for rider improvement. Through the Harley Owners Group, HOG, a membership group of Harley owners, Harley promotes events and rallies where owners can get together and ride. They form what Peel calls brothers and sisters of the road. It is with this focus on the sport that Harley creates its most powerful marketing tool, the Motorcycle Mentor. Through the nature of the Harley community, previous owners coach new owners on buying a more advanced bike, taking an overnight trip, or packing for long-distance rides. Peel says, we would be doing a disservice if we said we reach everyone with our product announcements. But when we put it out, it works its way through the customer base. Our owners sell our products. They encourage people to get more involved in the sport. And tools such as chat rooms on the Harley website or magazines such as HO Tales and Motorcycle Enthusiast facilitate that sharing. So how does Harley-Davidson measure its marketing success? It participates in customer satisfaction index studies to measure satisfaction for people who purchase new motorcycles. But it is the statistic that over 90% of Harley owners will repurchase a Harley that carries the weight. When we get a customer, we can pretty much keep them. Our marketing is to get new customers and to keep existing customers happy, Peel says. It is just another part of Harley's creed. We believe life is what you make it, and we make it one heck of a ride. Sources: interview with Steve Peel, Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is tamer, still not a family affair, Hagerty, https://www.hagerty.com, August 29, 2016. What is Harley-Davidson's marketing strategy? http://marketrealist.com, March 31, 2016. Steve Peel is retiring from Harley-Davidson, Cyril Husblog.com, July 23, 2015, http://cyrilhuseblog.com/2015/06/23/ Steve Peel is retiring from Harley-Davidson. This chapter continues to reveal the role of marketing, starting with a discussion of the distribution system and concluding with a look at traditional and non-traditional marketing channels. It explores how organizations use a distribution system to enhance the value of a product and examines the methods used to move products to locations where consumers wish to buy them. Distribution is also known as place in terms of the 5 Ps, key components of the marketing mix. It is important to have an understanding of the members of a distribution system and to explore the role of wholesalers and retailers in delivering products to customers. In addition to understanding how the supply chain works to increase efficiency and customer satisfaction, marketers must also develop tactics for promotion, the last element of the marketing mix. Promotion is comprised of 6 parts, which include traditional advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, social media, and e-commerce. What is the nature and function of distribution? Place. Distribution is efficiently managing the acquisition of raw materials by the factory and the movement of products from the producer or manufacturer to business, B2B, users and consumers. It includes many facets, such as location, hours, website presence, logistics, atmospherics, inventory management, supply chain management, and others. Logistics activities are usually the responsibility of the marketing department and are part of the large series of activities included in the supply chain. A supply chain is the system through which an organization acquires raw material, produces products, and delivers the products and services to its customers. Exhibit 12.2 illustrates a typical supply chain. Supply chain management helps increase the efficiency of logistics service by minimizing inventory and moving goods efficiently from producers to the ultimate users. On their way from producers to end users and consumers, products pass through a series of marketing entities known as a distribution channel. We will look first at the entities that make up a distribution channel and then examine the functions that channels serve. Marketing intermediaries in the distribution channel. A distribution channel is made up of marketing intermediaries, or organizations that assist in moving goods and services from producers to end users and consumers. Marketing intermediaries are in the middle of the distribution process, between the producer and the end user. The following marketing intermediaries most often appear in the distribution channel. Agents and brokers. Agents are sales representatives of manufacturers and wholesalers, and brokers are entities that bring buyers and sellers together. Both agents and brokers are usually hired on commission basis by either a buyer or a seller. Agents and brokers are go-betweens whose job is to make deals. They do not own or take possession of goods. Industrial distributors. Industrial distributors are independent wholesalers that buy related product lines from many manufacturers and sell them to industrial users. They often have a sales force to call on purchasing agents, make deliveries, extend credit, and provide information. Industrial distributors are used in such industries as aircraft manufacturing, mining, and petroleum. Wholesalers. Wholesalers are firms that sell finished goods to retailers, manufacturers, and institutions, such as schools and hospitals. Historically, their function has been to buy from manufacturers and sell to retailers. Retailers. Retailers are firms that sell goods to consumers and to industrial users for their own consumption. The illustration shows a large truck as a supplier of raw materials. These are passed to a CD factory. Finished CDs are sent to a wholesaler or distribution center and are then sent to retailers, wholesalers' distribution centers, and then to the customer. Exhibit 12.2, a typical supply chain, attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 4 license. At the end of the distribution channel are final consumers and industrial users. Industrial users are firms that buy products for internal use or for producing other products or services. They include manufacturers, utilities, airlines, railroads, and service institutions such as hotels, hospitals, and schools. Exhibit 12.3 shows various ways marketing intermediaries can be linked. For instance, a manufacturer may sell to a wholesaler that sells to a retailer that in turn sells to a customer. In any of these distribution systems, goods and services are physically transferred from one organization to the next. As each takes possession of the products, it may take legal ownership of them. As the exhibit indicates, distribution channels can handle either consumer products or industrial products. There are 5 consumer products channels shown and 3 industrial products channels. First, consumer products channel starts with a manufacturer, then to a wholesaler, then to consumer shown as a shopping cart, then to a consumer shown as an individual. Note at the bottom reads, common for cosmetics, small hardware items, novelties, and groceries. Second channel starts with a manufacturer, then to a retailer, then to consumer. Note reads, used for large appliances, cars, furniture, and by large retailers such as Walmart for all inventory needs. Also, a growing internet retailing channel, biggest dollar volume consumer channel. Third channel starts with a manufacturer, then to consumer. The note reads, used by some direct mail manufacturers, craftspeople, farmers markets. Also, used for in turn direct sales. Fourth channel starts with a farmer, then to a broker, then to a retailer, then to a consumer. Note reads, common for many food items such as fruits and produce. Fifth channel starts with a service company, then to an agent or broker, then to consumer. Note reads, popular services as insurance, stocks and bonds, and real estate. The internet is having a big impact here. The first industrial products channel starts with a manufacturer, then to an industrial user. Note reads, common for overhead cranes, metal buildings, aircraft, other custom or expensive products. A growing internet channel, biggest dollar volume industrial channel. The second channel starts with a manufacturer, then to an agent or broker, then to an industrial user. Note reads, popular with smaller manufacturers, agents act as manufacturers' sales force. The third industrial products channel starts with a manufacturer, then to an industrial distributor, then to an industrial user. Used for less expensive industrial products and parts. More and more volume is moving through the internet and sold directly to the user. Exhibit 12.3 Channels of distribution for B2B and consumer products. Attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 4 license. Non-traditional channels. Often non-traditional channel arrangements help differentiate a firm's product from the competition. For example, manufacturers may decide to use non-traditional channels, such as the internet, mail-order channels, or infomercials to sell products, instead of going through traditional retailer channels. Although non-traditional channels may limit a brand's coverage, they can give a producer serving a niche market a way to gain market access and customer attention without having to establish channel intermediaries. Non-traditional channels can also provide another avenue of sales for larger firms. For example, a London publisher sells short stories through vending machines in the London Underground. Instead of the traditional book format, the stories are printed like folded maps, making them an easy-to-read alternative for commuters. Kiosks, long a popular method for ordering and registering for wedding gifts, dispersing cash through ATMs, and facilitating airline check-in, are finding new uses. Ethan Allen furniture stores use kiosks as a product locator tool for consumers and salespeople. Kiosks on the campuses of Cheney University allow students to register for classes. See there. Class schedule and grades, check account balances, and even print transcripts. The general public, when it has access to the kiosks, can use them to gather information about the university. Small and medium-sized New Orleans food and beverage companies and restaurants banded together to promote their goods and establishments over the internet on a specific website at http://www.nolacuisine.com. They also have found that they can successfully sell their offerings through the websites of the profiled restaurants and food outlets, such as Kachan Butcher, https://kachanbutcher.com. With technology rapidly evolving, downloading first-run movies to mobile devices may not be far off. The changing world of technology opens many doors for new, non-traditional distribution channels. The functions of distribution channels. Why do distribution channels exist? Why can't every firm sell its products directly to the end user or consumer? Why are go-betweens needed? Channels serve a number of functions. Channels reduce the number of transactions. Channels make distribution simpler by reducing the number of transactions required to get a product from the manufacturer to the consumer. For example, if there are 4 students in a course and a professor requires 5 textbooks, each from a different publisher, a total of 20 transactions would be necessary to accomplish the sale of the books. If the bookstore serves as a go-between, the number of transactions is reduced to 9. Each publisher sells to one bookstore rather than to 4 students. Each student buys from one bookstore instead of from 5 publishers. See Exhibit 12.4. In both diagrams, the publishers are shown as circles and the students as triangles. The first diagram is titled, without a marketing intermediary, 5 publishers times 4 students equals 20 transactions. There are 4 lines extending from each publisher to each student. The second diagram is titled, with a marketing intermediary, 5 publishers plus 4 students equal 9 transactions. A line extends from each publisher and student to a central bookstore. Exhibit 12.4, How distribution channels reduce the number of transactions. Attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 4 license. Dealing with channel intermediaries frees producers from many of the details of distribution activity. Producers are traditionally not as efficient or as enthusiastic about selling products directly to end users as channel members are. First, producers may wish to focus on production. They may feel that they cannot both produce and distribute in a competitive way. On the other hand, manufacturers are eager to deal directly with giant retailers, such as Walmart, which offer huge sales opportunities to producers. Channels ease the flow of goods. Channels make distribution easier in several ways. The first is by sorting, which consists of the following. Sorting out, breaking many different items into separate stocks that are similar. Eggs, for instance, are sorted by grade and size. Another example would be different lines of women's dresses, designer, moderate, and economy lines. Accumulating, bringing similar stocks together into a larger quantity. 12 large grade A eggs could be placed in some cartons and 12 medium grade B eggs in other cartons. Another example would be to merge several lines of women's dresses from different designers together. Allocating, breaking similar products into smaller and smaller lots. Allocating at the wholesale level is called breaking bulk. For instance, a tank car load of milk could be broken down into gallon jugs. The process of allocating generally is done when the goods are dispersed by region and as ownership of the goods changes. Without the sorting, accumulating, and allocating processes, modern society would not exist. Instead, there would be home-based industries providing custom or semi-custom products to local markets. In short, society would return to a much lower level of consumption. A second way channels ease the flow of goods is by locating buyers for merchandise. A wholesaler must find the right retailers to sell a profitable volume of merchandise. A sporting goods wholesaler, for instance, must find the retailers who are most likely to reach sporting goods consumers. Retailers have to understand the buying habits of consumers and put stores where consumers want and expect to find the merchandise. Every member of a distribution channel must locate buyers for the products it is trying to sell. Channel members also store merchandise so that goods are available when consumers want to buy them. The high cost of retail space often means many goods are stored by the wholesaler or manufacturer. Concept check. List and define the marketing intermediaries that make up a distribution channel. Provide an example of a strategic channel alliance. How do channels reduce the number of transactions? What is wholesaling and what are the types of wholesalers? Wholesalers are channel members that buy finished products from manufacturers and sell them to retailers. Retailers, in turn, sell the products to consumers. Wholesalers also sell products to institutions, such as manufacturers, schools, and hospitals, for use in performing their own missions. A manufacturer, for instance, might buy computer paper from Nationwide Papers, a wholesaler. A hospital might buy its cleaning supplies from Lagasse Brothers, one of the nation's largest wholesalers of janitorial supplies. Sometimes wholesalers sell products to manufacturers for use in the manufacturing process. A builder of custom boats, for instance, might buy batteries from a battery wholesaler and switches from an electrical wholesaler. Some wholesalers even sell to other wholesalers, creating yet another stage in the distribution channel. Types of wholesaler intermediaries. The two main types of wholesalers are merchant wholesalers and agents and brokers. Merchant wholesalers take title to the product, ownership rights. Agents and brokers simply facilitate the sale of a product from producer to end user. Merchant wholesalers. Merchant wholesalers make up 80% of all wholesaling establishments and conduct slightly less than 60% of all wholesale sales. A merchant wholesaler is an institution that buys goods from manufacturers and resells them to businesses, government agencies, other wholesalers, or retailers. All merchant wholesalers take title to the goods they sell. Agents and brokers. As mentioned earlier, agents represent manufacturers and wholesalers. Manufacturers' representatives, also called manufacturers' agents, represent non-competing manufacturers. These salespeople function as independent agents rather than as salaried employees of manufacturers. They do not take title to or possession of merchandise. They get commissions if they make sales and nothing if they don't. They are found in a variety of industries, including electronics, clothing, hardware, furniture, and toys. A photograph shows a jewelry display case filled with diamond rings. Some of the rings cost upward of $130,000. Exhibit 12.5. If diamonds are a girl's best friend, then women can find plenty of friends at Sam's and Costco. The two leading membership warehouse chains recently entered the luxury market, offering expensive diamond rings at steeply discounted prices. At Sam's, a 3.74-carat pink diamond pendant was reportedly priced 25% below its $750,000 valuation. At Costco, a 5.6-carat yellow diamond ring, valued at $280,000, listed for $99,999. Why do cash-and-carry wholesalers offer jewelry for considerably lower prices than those offered by high-end retailers such as Tiffany and Neiman Marcus? Credit: Philip Pressard /Flickr /attribution 2 generic, CC by 2. Brokers bring buyers and sellers together. Like agents, brokers do not take title to merchandise. They receive commissions on sales, and they have little say over company sales policies. They are found in markets where the information that would join buyers and sellers is scarce. These markets include real estate, agriculture, insurance, and commodities. Concept check. Define wholesaling and describe what wholesalers do. Describe merchant wholesalers. Explain the difference between agents and brokers. What are the different kinds of retail operations? Some 15 million Americans are engaged in retailing. Of this number, almost half work in service businesses such as barbershops, lawyers' offices, and amusement parks. Although most retailers are involved in small businesses, most sales are made by the giant retail organizations such as Walmart, Target, and Macy's. Half of all retail sales come from fewer than 10% of all retail businesses. This small group employs about 40% of all retail workers. Retailers feel the impact of changes in the economy more than many other types of businesses. Survival depends on keeping up with changing lifestyles and customer shopping patterns. In recent years, online retailing trends have significantly impacted retailing organizations, providing more opportunity for smaller retailers and more competition for larger retailers. Types of retail operations. There is a great deal of variety in retail operations. The major types of retailers are described in Table 12.1, which divides them into two main categories: in-store and non-store retailing. Examples of in-store retailing include Walmart, Target, Macy's, and Neiman Marcus. These retailers get most of their revenue from people who come to the store to buy what they want. Many in-store retailers also do some catalog and telephone sales. Retailing takes many forms. Types of in-store retailing description, examples. Department store houses many departments under one roof, with each treated as a separate buying center to achieve economies of buying, promotion, and control. Macy's, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Kohl's. Specialty store specializes in a category of merchandise and carries a complete assortment. Toys R Us, Zales Jewelers. Convenience store offers convenience goods with long store hours and quick checkout. 7-Eleven, Circle K. Supermarket specializes in a wide assortment of food, with self-service. Safeway, Kroger, Winn-Dixie. Discount store competes on the basis of low prices and high turnover, offers few services. Walmart, Target. Off-price retailer sells at prices 25% or more below traditional department store prices in a Spartan environment. TJ Maxx, home goods. Factory outlet owned by manufacturer. Sells closeouts, factory seconds, and canceled orders Levi-Strauss, Dansk. Catalog store sends catalogs to customers and displays merchandise in showrooms where customers can order from attached warehouse IKEA. Types of non-store. Retailing description examples. Vending machine sells merchandise by machine canteen. Direct selling sells face-to-face, usually in the person's home. Avon, Amway. Direct response marketing attempts to get immediate consumer sale through media advertising, catalogs, pop-up ads, or direct mail. K-Tel Music, Ronco. Home shopping network selling via cable television. Home shopping network, QVC. Internet retailing, e-retailing, selling over the internet. Bluefly, Com, Landsend, Com, Gap.com, Amazon.com, Wayfair, Com, Delcom. Table 12.1. Non-store retailing includes vending, direct selling, direct response marketing, home shopping networks, and internet retailing. Vending uses machines to sell food and other items, usually as a convenience in institutions such as schools and hospitals. Atmosphere and retail image. In considering retailing as a distribution strategy, place in the 5Ps, it is important to understand that place includes more than channel members or logistics. It also includes atmospherics, the image of the actual retailing store, or, in the case of non-store retailing, the platform from which the product is offered, such as a website or vending machine. An important task in retailing is to create this image. Marketers combine the store's merchandise mix, service level, and atmosphere to make up a retail image. Atmosphere refers to the physical layout and decor of the store. They can create a relaxed or busy feeling, a sense of luxury, a friendly or cold attitude, and a sense of organization or clutter. These are the most influential factors in creating a store's atmosphere. Employee type and density. Employee type refers to an employee's general characteristics, for instance, neat, friendly, knowledgeable, or service-oriented. Density is the number of employees per 1,000 square feet of selling space. A discount retailer such as Target has a low employee density that creates a do-it-yourself, casual atmosphere. Merchandise type and density. The type of merchandise carried and how it is displayed add to the atmosphere the retailer is trying to create. A prestigious retailer such as Saks or Nordstrom carries the best brand names and displays them in a neat, uncluttered arrangement. Other retailers such as Dollar Tree may display goods in a more cluttered, crowded, disheveled way because their target market, lower-income individuals, equates clutter with open markets and with lower prices and deals. A photograph shows the outside of a Neiman Marcus store. It is a large building with a large metal clock statue and covered walkway decorated with Christmas decorations. Exhibit 12.6. Whether peering through department store windows, buying holiday gifts, or going on a spending spree, people love to shop. Shopping makes people feel good, and a growing body of research suggests that shopping activates key areas of the brain, boosting one's mood, at least until the bill arrives. Feelings of pleasure and satisfaction derived from a buying binge may be linked to brain chemicals that produce a shopping high. How might retailers use atmosphere to stimulate consumers? Natural impulse to shop. Montgomery County Planning Commission, Flickr/attribution 2 generic, CC by 2. Fixture type and density. Fixtures can be elegant, rich woods or trendy, chrome and smoked glass, or they can be old, beat-up tables, as in an antique store. The fixtures should be consistent with the general atmosphere the store is trying to create. By displaying its merchandise on tables and shelves rather than on traditional pipe racks, the Gap creates a relaxed and uncluttered atmosphere that enables customers to see and touch the merchandise more easily. In addition to traditional display racks, Cabela's retail stores feature 2 5,000-gallon aquariums stocked with carp, trout, and other fish, and a diorama featuring elephants, lions, zebras, hyenas, and other animals. A typical Cabela's has several million customers a year. It is not unusual for someone to drive many miles to get to a Cabela's, where you can often see license plates from many states and Canadian provinces. 1. Sound can be pleasant or unpleasant for a customer. Classical music at a nice Italian restaurant helps create ambience, just as country and Western music does at a truck stop. Music can also entice customers to stay in the store longer and buy more, or it can encourage them to eat quickly and leave a table for others. Odors, smell can either stimulate or detract from sales. The wonderful smell of pastries and breads entices bakery customers, as does the smell of freshly brewed coffee in a shopping mall. Conversely, customers can be repulsed by bad odors, such as cigarette smoke, musty smells, antiseptic odors, and overly powerful room deodorizers. Expanding around the globe. Creative retailing at Selfridges. To steer traffic to its flagship store in London, Selfridges sought divine intervention. That is, a 50-foot statue of Jesus. The small-scale replica of Rio de Janeiro's famous monument gazed down on shoppers during a month-long Brazilian-themed promotion. Combined with a radical redesign of the retail space that makes each of Selfridges, 4 outlets feel more like a collection of quirky boutiques than one gargantuan marketplace. Stunts like the Brazil 40 Degrees celebration have transformed the once staid 95-year-old British retail chain into a premier arbiter of hip. Selfridges' success has spurred retailers worldwide to take a closer look. A department store chief who has not made his way to Selfridges to study its operation, says Arnold Aronson, former CEO of Saks Fifth Avenue, is an executive not doing his job. Typically, department stores develop their own merchandising strategies, resulting in a retail space crowded with Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, and other predictable names arranged in displays that rarely vary from one chain to the next. Selfridges, however, operates on the theory that no one understands a product better than the designer or vendor that created it. So individual designers are allotted space in Selfridges and asked to create in-store displays that highlight their work. Traditional departments, such as shoes, cosmetics, and men's business, have been organized by lifestyle, youth, sports, or women's contemporary. This helps expose customers to merchandise they might not otherwise see. Recently, Selfridges asked a tattoo and body piercing parlor called Metamorphosis to set up shop next to some women's fashion vendors. Metamorphosis was such a huge hit with shoppers en route to the clothing racks that it will soon expand to other Selfridges outlets. Selfridges is also known for its happenings. They recently opened a low-cost interfaith charity shop within the confines of their luxury brand Oxford Street store in London. Performance artist Miranda July was involved in the creation of this shop within a shop, which partners with Islamic, Jewish, and other faith groups to promote the charity store. Ironically, shoppers can find bargain-priced donated blouses just feet away from some priced at over $3,000. Critical thinking questions. Selfridges opened a new store described as a silver blob or spaceship. The building has no straight lines and is covered with 15,000 anodized aluminum discs. The atrium is an array of high-gloss white elevators and balconies that are all slanted to avoid the atrium look. Do you think Selfridges is becoming too cool or hip? What impact will this have on sales? Would Selfridges be successful in the United States? Why or why not? Sources: The Secrets Behind Our House, http://www.selfridges.com/us/n, access September 27, 2017, Bari Toberman, Norwood Delight as interfaith shop at Selfridges brings in the punters, The Jewish Chronicle, https://www.thedg.com, September 1, 2017. Hannah Ellis Peterson, Miranda July curates interfaith charity shop opening up in Selfridges. The Guardian, https://www.theguardian.com, August 30, 2017. Concept check. Describe at least 5 types of in-store retailing and 4 forms of non-store retailing. What factors most influence a retail store's atmosphere? How can supply chain management increase efficiency and customer satisfaction? Distribution place is an important part of the marketing mix. Retailers don't sell products they can't deliver, and salespeople don't, or shouldn't, promise deliveries they can't make. Late deliveries and broken promises may mean the loss of a customer. Accurate order filling and billing, timely delivery, and arrival in good condition are important to the success of the product. The goal of supply chain management is to create a satisfied customer by coordinating all of the activities of the supply chain members into a seamless process. Therefore, an important element of supply chain management is that it is completely customer-driven. In the mass production era, manufacturers produced standardized products that were pushed through the supply channel to the consumer. In contrast, in today's marketplace, products are being driven by customers who expect to receive product configurations and services matched to their unique needs. For example, Dell builds computers according to its customers' precise specifications, such as the amount of memory, type of monitor, and amount of hard drive space. The process begins with Dell purchasing partly built laptops from contract manufacturers. The final assembly is done in Dell factories in Ireland, Malaysia, or China, where microprocessors, software, and other key components are added. Those finished products are then shipped to Dell-operated distribution centers in the United States, where they are packaged with other items and shipped to the customer. Through the channel partnership of suppliers, manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers along the entire supply chain who work together toward the common goal of creating customer value. Supply chain management allows companies to respond with the unique product configuration demanded by the customer. Today, supply chain management plays a dual role. First, as a communicator of customer demand that extends from the point of sale all the way back to the supplier. And second, as a physical flow process that engineers the timely and cost-effective movement of goods through the entire supply pipeline. Accordingly, supply chain managers are responsible for making channel strategy decisions, coordinating the sourcing and procurement of raw materials, scheduling production, processing orders, managing inventory, transporting and storing supplies and finished goods, and coordinating customer service activities. Supply chain managers are also responsible for the management of information that flows through the supply chain. Coordinating the relationships between the company and its external partners, such as vendors, carriers, and third-party companies, is also a critical function of supply chain management. Because supply chain managers play such a major role in both cost control and customer satisfaction, they are more valuable than ever. For products that are services, the distribution channel is based primarily on location of the services, such as where the company has its headquarters. The layout of the area in which the service is provided, for example, the interior of a dry cleaner store. Alternative locations for the presentation of services, such as an architect visiting a client site location. And elements of atmosphere, such as dark wooden bookcases for bound legal volumes in an attorney's office, which provide credibility. Services companies also utilize the traditional entities of distribution for any actual goods they sell or supplies they must purchase. Concept check. What is the goal of supply chain management? What does it mean for a supply chain to be customer-driven? How does distribution, place, differ for services products? What is promotion, and what are the key elements of a promotional mix? Promotion is an attempt by marketers to inform, persuade, or remind consumers and B2B users to influence their opinion or elicit a response. Most firms use some form of promotion. Because company goals vary widely, so do promotional strategies. The goal is to stimulate action from the people or organizations of a target market. In a profit-oriented firm, the desired action is for the consumer to buy the promoted item. Mrs. Smith S., for instance, wants people to buy more frozen pies. Not-for-profit organizations seek a variety of actions with their promotions. They tell us not to litter, to buckle up, to join the military, or to attend the ballet. These are examples of products that are ideas marketed to specific target markets. Promotional goals include creating awareness, getting people to try products, providing information, retaining loyal customers, increasing the use of products, and identifying potential customers, as well as teaching potential service clients what is needed to co-create the services provided. Any promotional campaign may seek to achieve one or more of these goals. Creating awareness. All too often, firms go out of business because people don't know they exist or what they do. Small restaurants often have this problem. Simply putting up a sign and opening the door is rarely enough. Promotion through ads on social media platforms and local radio or television, coupons in local papers, flyers, and so forth can create awareness of a new business or product. Large companies often use catchy slogans to build brand awareness. For example, Dodge's wildly successful ads where a guy in a truck yells over to another truck at a stoplight, "Hey, that thing got a Hemi?" has created a huge number of new customers for Dodge trucks. Hemi has become a brand within a brand. Now, Chrysler is extending the Hemi engine to the Jeep brand, hoping for the same success. Getting consumers to try products. Promotion is almost always used to get people to try a new product or to get non-users to try an existing product. Sometimes free samples are given away. Lever, for instance, mailed over 2 million free samples of its Lever 2000 soap to targeted households. Coupons and trial-size containers of products are also common tactics used to tempt people to try a product. Celebrities are also used to get people to try products. Oprah Winfrey, for example, recently partnered with Kraft Heinz to launch a new line of refrigerated soups and side dishes made with no artificial flavors or dyes. Kate Murphy, director of strategic partnerships at the social marketing platform CrowdTap, weighed in on the strategy. Celebrity endorsements can provide immense value to a product brand when done right, Murphy said. If a celebrity aligns with a product, they bring a level of trust and familiarity to the table. Providing information. Informative promotion is more common in the early stages of the product lifecycle. An informative promotion may explain what ingredients, for example, fiber, will do for a consumer's health, describe why the product is better, for example, high-definition television versus regular television, inform the customer of a new low price, or explain where the item may be purchased. People typically will not buy a product or support a not-for-profit organization until they know what it will do and how it may benefit them. Thus, an informative ad may stimulate interest in a product. Consumer watchdogs and social critics applaud the informative function of promotion because it helps consumers make more intelligent purchase decisions. StarKist, for instance, lets customers know that its tuna is caught in dolphin-safe nets. Keeping loyal customers. Promotion is also used to keep people from switching brands. Slogans such as Campbell's soups are good, and Intel Inside remind consumers about the brand. Marketers also remind users that the brand is better than the competition. For years, Pepsi has claimed it has the taste that consumers prefer. Southwest Airlines brags that customers' bags fly free. Such advertising reminds customers about the quality of the product or service. Firms can also help keep customers loyal by telling them when a product or service is improved. Domino's recently aired candid advertisements about the quality of their product and completely revamped their delivery operations to improve their service. This included advertisements highlighting a Domino's pizza being delivered by reindeer in Japan and by drone in New Zealand. According to University of Maryland marketing professor Roland Rust, delivery stands out in how Domino's has broadly improved its quality, and the customized delivery vehicles are a competitive advantage. 3. Increasing the amount and frequency of use. Promotion is often used to get people to use more of a product and to use it more often. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association reminds Americans to eat more beef. The most popular promotion to increase the use of a product may be frequent flyer or user programs. The Marriott Rewards program awards points for each dollar spent at a Marriott property. At the Platinum level, members receive a guaranteed room, an upgrade to the property's finest available accommodations, access to the concierge lounge, a free breakfast, free local phone calls, and a variety of other goodies. 4. Identifying target customers. Promotion helps find customers. One way to do this is to list a website as part of the promotion. For instance, promotions in the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg Businessweek regularly include web addresses for more information on computer systems, corporate jets, color copiers, and other types of business equipment to help target those who are truly interested. Fidelity Investments adds trumpet, solid investment opportunities are out there, and then direct consumers to go to http://www.fidelity.com. A full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal for Sprint Unlimited wireless service invites potential customers to visit http://www.sprint.com. These websites typically will ask for your email address when you seek additional information. Teaching the customer. For service products, it is often imperative to actually teach the potential client the reasons for certain parts of a service. In services, the service providers work with customers to perform the service. This is called co-creation. For example, an engineer will need to spend extensive time with team members from a client company and actually teach the team members what the design process will be, how the interaction of getting information for the design will work, and at what points each part of the service will be delivered so that ongoing changes can be made to the design. For services products, this is more involved than just providing information. It is actually teaching the client. The promotional mix. The combination of traditional advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, public relations, social media, and e-commerce used to promote a product is called the promotional mix. Each firm creates a unique promotional mix for each product, but the goal is always to deliver the firm's message efficiently and effectively to the target audience. These are the elements of the promotional mix. Traditional advertising. Any paid form of non-personal promotion by an identified sponsor that is delivered through traditional media channels. Personal selling, a face-to-face presentation to a prospective buyer. Sales promotion, marketing activities other than personal selling, traditional advertising, public relations, social media, and e-commerce that stimulate consumer buying, including coupons and samples, displays, shows and exhibitions, demonstrations, and other types of selling efforts. Public relations, the linking of organizational goals with key aspects of the public interest and the development of programs designed to earn public understanding and acceptance. Public relations can include lobbying, publicity, special events, internal publications, and media, such as a company's internal television channel. Social media, the use of social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and various blogs to generate buzz about a product or company. The skills and knowledge needed to generate information as well as to defend the company against problems, such as incriminating videos, going viral, are separate skills from those related to traditional advertising. Even promotional strategies, such as paying celebrities to wear a specific line of clothing and posting these images on Twitter or Instagram, a form of advertising, requires different types of planning and expertise than traditional advertising. E-commerce, the use of a company's website to generate sales through online ordering, information, interactive components such as games, and other elements of the website. Website development is mandatory is today's business world. Understanding how to develop and utilize a website to generate sales is imperative for any marketer. Ideally, marketing communications from each promotional mix element, personal selling, traditional advertising, sales promotion, public relations, social media, and e-commerce should be integrated. That is, the message reaching the consumer should be the same regardless of whether it comes from an advertisement, a salesperson in the field, a magazine article, a blog, a Facebook posting, or a coupon in a newspaper insert. Integrated marketing communications. This disjointed approach to promotion has propelled many companies to adopt the concept of integrated marketing. Communications, IMC. IMC involves carefully coordinating all promotional activities, traditional advertising, including direct marketing, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, social media and e-commerce, packaging, and other forms of promotion, to produce a consistent, unified message that is customer-focused. Following the concept of IMC, marketing managers carefully work out the roles the various promotional elements will play in the marketing mix. Timing of promotional activities is coordinated, and the results of each campaign are carefully monitored to improve future use of the promotional mix tools. Typically, a company appoints a marketing communications director who has overall responsibility for integrating the company's marketing communications. A photograph shows DJ called posing for a photo op with Rick Ross. Exhibit 12.7, when Weight Watchers signed up DJ Called to be one of its celebrity endorsers, many were surprised by the choice. Called will broadcast his quest to slim down across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat in a bid to attract more men to sign up for the program. Called is not the usual choice for a Weight Watchers spokesperson, but once you scratch below the surface, he's actually a great brand fit. Authenticity and relevance are words bandied about like the gospel in influencer marketing, but they are the most important ingredients when it comes to working with any level of influencer. What challenges and payoffs are associated with integrated marketing communications? Credit. Megrin, Robert/Flickr/attribution, too generic, CC by 2. Southwest Airlines relied on IMC to launch its Transparency campaign. The campaign integrated and promoted the concept on its website, as well as through advertising and airport signage. The campaign has resonated with consumers because most competitors add extra fees for baggage and premium seats. One of the taglines Southwest uses is "Reward seats only on days ending with the letter Y." The integrated marketing campaign was created in collaboration with Southwest's advertising agency, GSD&M, based in Dallas, Texas 5. The sections that follow examine the elements of the promotional mix in more detail. Concept check. What is the objective of a promotional campaign? What is the promotional mix? What are the features of an integrated marketing communications campaign? How are advertising media selected? Most Americans are bombarded daily with advertisements to buy. Things. Traditional advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation by an identified sponsor. It may appear on television or radio, in newspapers, magazines, books, or direct mail, or on billboards or transit cards. In the United States, children between the ages of 2 and 11 are exposed to more than 25,600 exposures to advertising through TVs and online exposures a year. Adults are exposed to 3 times as many, more than 2 million commercials in a lifetime. 6. The money that big corporations spend on advertising is mind-boggling. Total advertising expenses in this country were estimated at more than $206 billion in 2017.7. Global advertising expenditures are approximately $546 billion annually. 8. General Motors is America's largest advertiser, spending over $3.1 billion annually. This is slightly over $350,000 per hour, 7 days a week, 24 hours per day. America's biggest global spender on advertising is Procter & Gamble at $4.06 billion. Nissan was a sponsor of the 2016 Rio Olympic Games and provided 5,000 vehicles for the events. Ads for the 2018 Super Bowl cost between $5 million and $5.5 million for a 30-second commercial. A 30-second spot on NBC's Sunday Night Football costs about $650,000. The impact of technology and the internet on traditional advertising. Many new media are not hardwired or regulated, and digital technology is delivering content anytime, anywhere. Cable, satellite, and the internet have highly fragmented audiences, making them tougher than ever to reach. In the late 1950s, Gunsmoke on CBS captured a 65% share of the TV audience nearly every Saturday night. Only one event, the Super Bowl, has a chance to do that now. Traditional forms of entertainment are being rapidly digitized. Magazines, books, movies, shows, and games can be accessed through a laptop or a cell phone. In 2017, 93 million U.S. homes have broadband connections, nearly as many as the 119.6 million that now have cable and satellite hookups. 10. Technology is driving many of the changes, but so is consumer behavior. Advertiser questions abound. How do you market a product to young people when millions of them are glued to video game screens instead of TVs? How do you reach TV audiences when viewers can TiVo their way past your ads? How do you utilize social media to get the word out about your product? And once you do, how do you control the message if something goes viral? What role do influencers play in promoting products and services via various electronic platforms? What should you make of blogs? How do you plan a website that fosters sales and continually provides information and other forms of value for your customers? Product placements in films and streaming content, podcasts. We will touch on each of these later in the chapter. Choosing advertising media. The channels through which advertising is carried to prospective customers are the advertising media. Both product and institutional ads appear in all the major advertising media. Each company must decide which media are best for its products. Two of the main factors in making that choice are the cost of the medium and the audience reached by it. Advertising costs and market penetration. Cost per contact is the cost of reaching one member of the target market. Naturally, as the size of the audience increases, so does the total cost. Cost per contact enables an advertiser to compare media vehicles, such as television versus radio or magazine versus newspaper, or, more specifically, Forbes versus the Wall Street Journal. An advertiser debating whether to spend local advertising dollars for TV spots or radio spots could consider the cost per contact of each. The advertiser might then pick the vehicle with the lowest cost per contact to maximize advertising punch for the money spent. Often costs are expressed on a cost per thousand, CPM, contacts basis. Reach is the number of different target consumers who are exposed to a commercial at least once during a specific period, usually 4 weeks. Media plans for product introductions and attempts at increasing brand awareness usually emphasize reach. For example, an advertiser might try to reach 70% of the target audience during the first 3 months of the campaign. Because the typical ad is short-lived and often only a small portion of an ad may be perceived at one time, advertisers repeat their ads so consumers will remember the message. Frequency is the number of times an individual is exposed to a message. Average frequency is used by advertisers to measure the intensity of a specific medium's coverage. A photograph shows a large cheesecake factory sign hanging above the entryway of a building. Exhibit 12.8, in addition to listing hundreds of scrumptious menu choices and cheesecakes, the Cheesecake Factory's magazine-sized menus feature a number of full-page glossy ads for Bebe, Macy's, Mercedes-Benz, and more. An increasingly popular media option, menu advertising offers many. Promotional benefits: huge readership by a captive audience, outstanding demographic selectivity, and great value, less than a penny per exposure. How do advertisers decide whether or not menu advertising is right for their promotional mixes? Credit: Miguel XB/Flickr/attribution 2 generic, CC by 2. Media selection is also a matter of matching the advertising medium with the product's target market. If marketers are trying to reach teenage females, they might select 17 magazine. If they are trying to reach consumers over 50 years old, they may choose AARP, the magazine. A medium's ability to reach a precisely defined market is its audience selectivity. Some media vehicles, such as general newspapers and network television, appeal to a wide cross-section of the population. Others, such as Brides, Popular Mechanics, Architectural Digest, MTV, ESPN, and Christian radio stations, appeal to very specific groups. Marketers must also consider utilizing various social media platforms and which platforms are most likely to reach the targeted market. Concept check: how is technology impacting the way advertisers reach their markets? What are the 2 main factors that should be considered when selecting advertising media? What is personal selling? Advertising acquaints potential customers with a product and thereby makes personal selling easier. Personal selling is a face-to-face sales presentation to a prospective customer. Sales jobs range from sales clerks at clothing stores to engineers with MBAs who design large, complex systems for manufacturers. About 6.5 million people are engaged in personal selling in the United States. Slightly over 45% of them are women. The number of people who earn a living from sales is huge compared, for instance, with the nearly 300,000 workers employed in the traditional advertising sector. Personal selling offers several advantages over other forms of promotion. Personal selling provides a detailed explanation or demonstration of the product. This capability is especially desirable for complex or new goods and services. The sales message can be varied according to the motivations and interests of each prospective customer. Moreover, when the prospect has questions or raises objections, the salesperson is there to provide explanations. In contrast, advertising and sales promotion can respond only to the objections the copywriter thinks are important to customers. Personal selling can be directed only to qualified prospects. Other forms of promotion include some unavoidable waste because many people in the audience are not prospective customers. Personal selling costs can be controlled by adjusting the size of the sales force, and resulting expenses in one-person increments. In contrast, advertising and sales promotion must often be purchased in fairly large amounts. Perhaps the most important advantage is that personal selling is considerably more effective than other forms of promotion in obtaining a sale and gaining a satisfied customer. The selling process. Selling is a process that can be learned. Experts have spelled out the steps of the selling process, shown in Exhibit 12.9, and professional salespeople use them all the time. These steps are as follows. Prospecting and qualifying. To start the process, the salesperson looks for sales prospects, those companies and people who are most likely to buy the seller's offerings. This activity is called prospecting. Because there are no surefire ways to find prospects, most salespeople try many methods. For many companies, the inquiries generated by advertising and promotion are the most likely source of prospects. Inquiries are also known as sales leads. Leads usually come in the form of letters, cards, email addresses, telephone calls, or through social media sites. Some companies supply salespeople with prospect lists compiled from external sources, such as Chamber of Commerce directories, newspapers, public records, club membership lists, internet inquiries, and professional or trade publication subscription lists. Meetings, such as professional conventions and trade shows, are another good source of leads. Sales representatives attend such meetings to display and demonstrate their company's products and to answer the questions of those attending. The firm's files and records can be another source of prospects. Correspondence with buyers can be helpful. Records in the service department can identify people who already own equipment and might be prospects for new models. Finally, friends and acquaintances of salespeople can often supply leads. One guideline is that not all prospects are true opportunities for a sale. Just because someone has been referred or has made an inquiry does not mean that the person is a genuine prospect. Salespeople can avoid wasting time and increase their productivity by qualifying all prospects. Qualifying questions are used to separate prospects from those who do not have the potential to buy. The following 3 questions help determine who is a real prospect and who is not. Does the prospect have a need for our product? Can the prospect make the buying decision? Can the prospect afford our product? A diagram shows the 6 steps in the sales process as a staircase. Exhibit 12.9 Steps in making a successful sale. Attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 4 license. Approaching customers. After identifying a prospect, the salesperson explains the reason for wanting an appointment and sets a specific date and time. At the same time, the salesperson tries to build interest in the coming meeting. One good way to do this is to impart an interesting or important piece of information. For instance, I think my product can cut your shipping and delivery time by 2 days. Presenting and demonstrating the product. The presentation and demonstration can be fully automated, completely unstructured, or somewhere in between. In a fully automated presentation, the salesperson shows a movie or slides or makes a PowerPoint presentation and then answers questions and takes any orders. In today's business world, in which relationships are most important for long-term sales, canned or structured presentations are not well received, nor do they support the idea of building a great bond with the customer. A completely unstructured presentation that has no set format is a much more successful approach. It may be a casual conversation, with the salesperson presenting product benefits and assisting the customer in solving his or her problems, like a partner on the client company's team, in a way that might interest the potential buyer. Handling objections. Almost every sales presentation, structured or unstructured, meets with some objection. Rarely does a customer say, "I'll buy it," without asking questions or voicing concerns. The professional salesperson tries to anticipate objections so they can be countered quickly and with assurance. The best way to counter objections is to have a thorough knowledge of the product offering so that a solution can be found that overcomes the objection. Often employed in business, the higher authority objection is frequently used when one of the parties says, "This agreement looks good, but I'll have to run it by my committee," or wife or any other higher authority. The result is that sales presentation turns out to be just a preliminary, non-binding round. after the hire. Authority responds, often disapproving the agreement. The sale goes into round 2 or starts all over again. For example, when a customer wants to buy a house, car, or anything expensive, the salesperson will say, "If we find the house or car that you really like, is there any reason you could not make the purchase today?" Once they get the green light, the salesperson will spend whatever time it takes to find the right product for the customer. However, if the client says his uncle has to give the final approval because he will be loaning the money, the salesperson will try and set up an appointment when the uncle can be present. Closing the sale. After all the objections have been dealt with, it's time to close the sale. Even experienced salespeople sometimes find this part of the sales process awkward. Perhaps the easiest way to close a sale is to ask for it. "Ms. Jones, may I write up your order?" One of the best techniques is to act as though the deal has been concluded. "Mr. Bateson, we'll have this equipment in and working for you in 2 weeks." If Mr. Bateson doesn't object, the salesperson can assume that the sale has been made. Following up on the salesperson's job isn't over when the sale is made. In fact, the sale is just the start. The salesperson must write up the order properly and turn it in promptly. This part of the job may be easy for many consumer products, but for B2B products or services, it may be more complex. An order for a complex piece of industrial equipment may include 100 pages of detail. Each detail must be carefully checked to ensure that the equipment is exactly what was ordered. After the product is delivered to the customer, the salesperson must make a routine visit to see that the customer is satisfied. This follow-up call may also be a chance to make another sale. But even if it isn't, it will build goodwill for the salesperson's company and may bring future business. Repeat sales over many years are the goal of professional salespeople. Concept check. What are the advantages of personal selling? Explain the selling process. What are the goals of sales promotion, and what are several types of sales promotion? Sales promotion helps make personal selling and advertising more effective. Sales promotions are marketing events or sales efforts, not including traditional advertising, personal selling, and public relations, that stimulate buying. Sales promotion can be developed as part of the social media or e-commerce effort just as advertising can, but the methods and tactics are much different. Sales promotion is a $300 billion and growing industry. Sales promotion is usually targeted toward either of 2 distinctly different markets. Consumer sales promotion is targeted to the ultimate consumer market. Trade sales promotion is directed to members of the marketing channel, such as wholesalers and retailers. The goal of many promotion tactics is immediate purchase. Therefore, it makes sense when planning a sales promotion campaign to target customers according to their general behavior. For instance, is the consumer loyal to the marketer's product or to the competitor? Does the consumer switch brands readily in favor of the best deal? Does the consumer buy only the least expensive product, no matter what? Does the consumer buy any products in your category at all? Procter & Gamble believes shoppers make up their mind about a product in about the time it takes to read this paragraph. This first moment of truth, as P&G calls it, is the 3 to 7 seconds when someone notices an item on a store shelf. Despite spending billions on traditional advertising, the consumer products giant thinks this instant is one of its most important marketing opportunities. It recently created a position entitled Director of First Moment of Truth, or Director of FMOT, pronounced EFFMOT, to produce sharper, flashier in-store displays. There is a 15-person FMOT department at P&G headquarters in Cincinnati, as well as 50 FMOT leaders stationed around the world. 11. A photograph shows 2 dogs riding in a shopping cart inside of a PetSmart store. Exhibit 12.1. Pet lovers want the best for their animals, and choosing a proper diet is an essential part of raising happy, healthy pets. That's why many dog food providers such as Purina and Blue Buffalo are creating specific size and age-appropriate diets for dogs. They often use sales promotion to encourage animal lovers to transition their pets to premium brand food, encourage pet owners to track their pets' performance during the trial, and evaluate the before and after health of their pets. What promotional objectives underlie these practices? Credit. Ted Van Pelt Flicker / attribution 2 generic CC by 2. One of P&G's most prominent in-store promotions has been for a new line of Pampers. In the United States, P&G came up with what it calls a shopper concept, a single promotional theme that allows it to pitch products in a novel way. The theme for Pampers was Babies First. In stores, the company handed out information on childhood immunizations, car seat safety, and healthy diets while promoting its diapers and wipes in other parts of the store. To market Pampers diapers in the United Kingdom, P&G persuaded retailers earlier this year to put fake doorknobs high up on restroom doors to remind parents how much babies need to stretch. The objectives of a promotion depend on the general behavior of target consumers, as described in Table 12.2. For example, marketers who are targeting loyal users of their product don't want to change behavior. Instead, they want to reinforce existing behavior or increase product usage. Frequent buyer programs that reward consumers for repeat purchases can be effective in strengthening brand loyalty. Other types of promotions are more effective with customers prone to brand switching or with those who are loyal to a competitor's product. Cents-off coupons, free samples, or an eye-catching display in a store will often entice shoppers to try a different brand. The use of sales promotion for services products depends on the type of services. Consumer services, such as hairstyling, rely heavily on sales promotions, such as providing half off the price of a haircut for senior citizens on Mondays. Professional services, however, use very little sales promotion. Doctors, for example, do not often use coupons for performing an appendectomy, for example. In fact, service product companies must be careful not to utilize too many sales promotion tactics because they can lower the credibility of the firm. Attorneys do not have a sale on providing services for divorce proceedings, for example. Types of consumers and sales promotion goals. Type of behavior desired results, sales promotion examples. Loyal customers. People who buy your product most or all of the time reinforce behavior, increase consumption, change purchase timing. Loyalty marketing programs, such as frequent buyer cards and frequent shopper clubs. Bonus packs that give loyal consumers an incentive to stock up or premiums offered in return for proof of purchase. Competitors' customers. People who buy a competitor's product most or all of the time break loyalty, persuade to switch to your brand sweepstakes, contests, or premiums that create interest in the product. Brand switchers. People who buy a variety of products in the category persuade to buy your brand more. Often sampling to introduce your product's superior qualities compared to their brand. Price buyers. People who consistently buy the least expensive brand appeal with low prices or supply added value that makes price less important. Trade deals that help make the product more readily available than competing products. Coupons, cents-off packages, refunds, or trade deals that reduce the price of the brand to match that of the brand that would have been purchased. Table 12.2. Two growing areas of sales promotion are couponing and product placement. American consumers receive over $321 billion worth of coupons each year and redeem about $3 billion, almost 85% of all Americans redeem coupons. Sunday newspaper supplements remain the #1 source, but there has been explosive growth of online or consumer-printed coupons. General Mills, Kimberly-Clark, and General Electric like online coupons because they have a higher redemption rate. Coupons are used most often for grocery shopping. Do they save you money? One study found that people using coupons at the grocery store spent 8% more than those who didn't. 13. Product placement is paid inclusion of brands in mass media programming. This includes movies, TV, books, music videos, and video games. So when you see Ford vehicles in the latest James Bond movie or Tom Hanks putting on a pair on Nike's on-screen, that is product placement. Product placement has become a huge business. For example, companies paid more than $6 billion in a recent year to have their products placed prominently in a film or television program. That figure is expected to reach more than $11 billion by 2019.14. It is easy to go overboard with this trend and be portrayed as a parody, however. The 2017 Emoji Movie is an example of failed product placements. The theme of the movie centered on various emojis caught in a smartphone as they are forced to play Candy Crush and say glowing things about such apps as Dropbox and Instagram as they make their way through the phone 15 also. Some have suggested that product placement might doom the products and companies. For example, Atari products appeared in the classic 1982 film Blade Runner, but the original company went out of business shortly after the movie was released, while another product, the Cuisinart food processor, had to settle a price-fixing scandal after making an appearance in the film. This has not stopped companies such as Sony, Peugeot, and Coca-Cola from tempting fate by appearing in the recently released Blade Runner 2049.16. Many large companies are cutting their advertising budgets to spend more on product placements. One area of product placement that continues to raise ethical issues is so-called experts being paid to mention brands on the air. A photograph shows a group of people walking around a NASCAR display area. There is a large Chevy race car parked inside, covered in decals such as GM, Reese's Candy, and Good Wrench. Exhibit 12.11, whether making a cameo appearance or starring in a major role, brands are top talent in the entertainment world. NASCAR drivers, racing cars, and tracks are speckled with corporate brands, and Coca-Cola sits at the judges' table on American Idol. Drive through the video game Need for Speed, and you will see Best Buy stores along the way, as well as billboards for Burger King and other products. And Reese's Pieces are forever immortalized in the movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Does product placement blur the lines between advertising and content, and should viewers be concerned? Credit: Roger Blake Flickr/attribution too generic, CC by 2. Ethics in practice. Influencer marketing and product placement, are they always ethical? Traditional marketing vehicles, such as advertising, have been regulated to include limitations on promotions for such products as tobacco and alcohol. One area that has not had the same type of regulatory oversight has been the practice of product placement and companies working with influencers to market their products. In a classic scene from Forrest Gump, actor Tom Hanks, who plays Gump, meets President Kennedy and says, "The best thing about visiting the president is the food. Now, since it was all free and I wasn't hungry but thirsty, I must have drank me 15 Dr. Peppers." Since Forrest Gump was a family film seen by many children, this scene could influence them to think that consuming large quantities of the beverage was appropriate and might even give them the stamina to undertake cross-country marathons, one of Gump's other activities in the film. Unlike traditional television and print advertising, product placement in films, television shows, and even video games has not been heavily regulated, but that's about to change. For instance, in Australia, the Alcohol Beverages Advertising Code, ABAC, is instituting expanded regulation of advertising and product placement for new, non-traditional media that have not been regulated previously. Companies are also enlisting influencers to help them reach customers. Influencers might be people who have achieved recognition as an expert in a certain area, or someone who has amassed a large number of followers on platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The use of influencers has raised concern about the ethics of companies such as Amazon, Apple, and Google when they enlist teachers such as Kayla Delzer, who has her own brand, Top Dog Teacher, http://www.topdogteaching.com, that touts her teaching approaches through workshops. Since Delzer incorporates technology into her classroom, she has attracted the attention of both small startups such as Seesaw and large companies such as Apple, which provide her with products and services in the hope that disseminating her experiences through blogs, tweets, and workshops will encourage her followers to adopt their technologies. Because there is little research-based evidence that these technologies actually improve student outcomes, this situation presents an ethical dilemma for school administrators. Another ethical dilemma is that some influencers use fake followers to increase the appearance of extended media reach, thus being able to command larger sums of money from various companies for their services. One of the most blatant examples of signing up fake followers was the appearance of a vending machine in Moscow where patrons could use a credit card to purchase likes, favorites, and followers for their social media sites. Critical thinking questions. What is the role of industry trade groups, government agencies, and marketers to self-regulate ethical practices? Do you think it's unethical to pay people to use products and services that influence consumer purchases? Explain your reasoning. Sources: Natasha Singer, Silicon Valley courts name brand teachers raising ethical issues. The New York Times, https://www.nighttimes.com, September 2, 2017. Natalie Colton in Staffacres. When fraud hits influencer marketing, Mobile Marketer, http://www.mobilemarketer.com, August 14, 2017. Rosie Baker, new rules on placement of alcohol ads loom large. Ad News, http://www.adnews.com, August 9, 2017. Concept check. How does sales promotion differ from advertising? Describe several types of sales promotion. How does public relations fit into the promotional mix? Like sales promotion, public relations can be a vital part of the promotional mix. Public relations is any communication or activity designed to win goodwill or prestige for a company or person. This could include publicity, information about a company or product that appears in the news media and is not directly paid for by the company. Publicity can be good or bad. Reports of children overeating fast food, which can lead to obesity, is an example of negative publicity. Public relations includes many other activities, such as lobbying, event planning, acting as a press agent, managing internal communication, and coordinating crisis management for communications. Naturally, firms, public relations departments try to create as much good publicity as possible. They furnish company speakers for business and civic clubs, write speeches for corporate officers, and encourage employees to take active roles in such civic groups as the United Way and the Chamber of Commerce. One of the tools of the Public Relations Department is the press release, a formal announcement of some newsworthy event connected with the company, such as the start of a new program, the introduction of a new product, or the opening of a new plant. Public relations departments may perform any or all of the functions described in Table 12. 3. The functions of a public relations department. Public relations function description. Press relations placing positive, newsworthy information in the news media to attract attention to a product, a service, or a person associated with the firm or institution. Product publicity, publicizing specific products or services. Corporate communications, creating internal and external messages to promote a positive image of the firm or institution. Public affairs building and maintaining national or local community relations. Lobbying, influencing legislators and government officials to promote or defeat legislation and regulation. Employee and investor relations, maintaining positive relationships with employees, shareholders, and others in the financial community. Crisis management, responding to unfavorable publicity or a negative event. Table 12. 3. Much of sales promotion and publicity is about creating buzz. Buzz marketing, or viral marketing, is intense word-of-mouth marketing. Word of mouth is essentially a linear process with information passing from one individual to another, then to another. A marketer has successfully created a buzz when the interactions are so intense that the information moves in a matrix pattern rather than a linear one, and everyone is talking about the topic. Leading-edge firms now feel that they get more bang for their buck using buzz marketing than other forms of promotion. Concept check. How does public relations differ from advertising? Describe several types of publicity. What is social media, and how has it changed promotion? Advances in technology continue to change the marketing landscape. As you will see in the following sections, marketers are harnessing new technology to hone their marketing message and reach more customers. The business world now relies on the internet for much of its communications, marketing, or otherwise. Almost all companies have Facebook accounts, and individual leaders of companies have separate individual accounts on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media sites. New social media sites are popping up almost every week. The phenomenon of social media has created a business climate in which thousands of impressions can be made with one social media post. That impression could be positive or negative. Within social media, there are stars of social media, individuals who have developed audiences in the millions who follow their posts every day. Social media is a hugely powerful tool for marketers. It has its challenges, though, because the platforms are constantly changing and evolving. Also, the audiences being reached often read or view and believe the messages seen on various social media platforms without understanding the context of the message. A social media post that goes viral can close down a business, even if the post is not true. That's what makes social media the newest challenge opportunity for marketers. Companies that want to retain market share and build their image must develop tactics for the use of social media and for defending against problems created by the use of this powerful marketing tool. Promotion through blogs. Blogs provide marketers with a real-time dialogue with customers and an avenue to promote their products or services. A blog is an online journal with regularly updated content. This content is pushed to subscribers by RSS, really simple syndication, or email, and allows for response and discussion from site visitors. RSS enables users to automatically gather updates from various websites, especially news sites and blogs, and display headlines and a brief summary of those updates in a single location. Blogs can be considered to be offerings of social media unless the site is actually part of the company's main web page. Well-run marketing blogs usually focus tightly on one niche area, product line, or vertical market segment. The aim is to provide the blog's readers with a constantly renewing source of news and insight about that topic. About 366 million blogs are registered on Tumblr, and more than 23 million blog entries are posted daily. 17. Many companies have set up their own blogs, including General Motors, Apple, the American Cancer Society, and Microsoft, to name a few. These companies blog because they 1. Get real-time input from customers and prospects. 2. Create and maintain relationships. 3. Can have a continuing dialogue with loyal customers and prospective clients. And 4. Can zero in on specific marketing goals. For example, Disney uses a blog called Disney Baby to cater to the needs of new mothers. Each of their bloggers has a personal bio that helps provide a connection for the new mother to the blogger and provides a deeper connection to the Disney brand. 18. Firms can also use emerging search tools such as Blog Pulse, Feedster, PubSub, and Technorati to monitor conversations about their company and brands. A public relations department might then decide to feed new product information to bloggers who are evangelists for their brand. Advertisers jump on podcasts and videos. Podcasts are basically blogs with a multimedia file. The trend developed when a new version of iTunes software made it easy for people to create their own podcasts and post them on a website. There are more than 8,000 podcasters in the United States. Besides individuals, companies are beginning to do their own podcasts, as well as posting videos from the company on YouTube as another marketing channel. For listeners, the advantage of a podcast is convenience. Companies now have the ability to use streaming video, which potential customers can download to their mobile devices. For example, ABC News offering a digital version of its programming. The customer's favorite programs download automatically from the internet, usually free of charge, and they can listen to the programs anytime they wish. They can also listen wherever they wish if they have a mobile device to receive the downloads. Gimlet Media is one of the nation's largest podcasters, offering material from nearly 40 different stations as podcasts. At first ad-free, Gimlet's podcasts are done for direct-to-consumer companies like Blue Apron, as well as for traditional advertisers like Pepsi and Ford. Gimlet now includes a short advertisement before the programming, short enough that people won't fast-forward through it. Gimlet also received a $5 million investment from advertising giant WPP, a clear sign that the business community sees a bright future in podcasts. 19. Pet owners can go to http://www.purina.com and opt in to receive Purina's podcasts. The products will offer advice ranging from animal training to pet insurance to nutrition for older pets. Weekly tips will also be sent on things such as how to help your dog lose weight. Owners spend close to $25 billion a year on pet food. The aim of the podcasts is to build brand loyalty with a soft sell. 20. Videos have become another important promotions channel. Literally hundreds of thousands of videos can be viewed on YouTube, the top video hosting site on the internet. Many people now log into YouTube to watch videos on a particular product and how the product can be used. Entrepreneurs and other small business owners have made extensive use of YouTube to provide value to their customers by creating and uploading informational videos that highlight their products. Concept check. How are companies embracing social media as a way to connect with customers? What has been the effect of social media on traditional advertising? What is e-commerce, and how has it affected the retail sector? E-commerce is related to social media and other new online platforms because it utilizes the internet for marketing communication. E-commerce refers to the development and maintenance of a company's website and the facilitation of commerce on the website, such as the ability for customers to order products online, to get questions answered about products, and for the company to introduce new products and ideas. E-commerce can include special components designed specifically for separate target market segments, such as information boxes or games. Anything associated with an actual company website related to marketing can be considered e-commerce. Estimates by various researchers say that more than half of all retail sales involve an online component. Direct internet purchases in 2016 were more than 13% of all retail sales, and that percentage will continue to grow. 21. Why? One reason is the economics of shopping. Think about time spent engaged in making a purchase in a brick-and-mortar location. The cost of fuel, finding a parking spot, locating your intended store, deciding on a purchase, and then driving home. Now think about the time spent reviewing products on a website, deciding what to purchase, and clicking a mouse or swiping a mobile device screen. It takes no time at all. Countless small businesses have taken the plunge to serve the growing army of online shoppers. Many e-commerce businesses, including e-jeweler Blue Nile, luggage site eBags, and shoe and accessory retailer Zappos, are experiencing sales of $100 million a year or more. The increasing sophistication of search technology and comparison shopping sites have allowed online businesses to market their products to millions of potential customers cheaply and effectively. Often, these innovations are bringing less well-known brands and merchants to consumers' attention. Online merchants can offer a far broader array of merchandise than specialty brick-and-mortar retailers because they don't have to keep the products on store shelves. In response to this challenge, traditional retailers are turning to technology to gain an advantage, outfitting their sales associates with voice headgear so they can look up prices and product information to assist customers. 22. After a slow start, the world's largest retailer, Walmart, has begun moving into e-retailing in a big way. It is now in almost every major category of web-related consumer commerce. It is estimated that Walmart has approximately 200 million items across all of its outlets, compared to 300 million items available through Amazon. The company has taken some innovative steps to leverage the web to drive people to its stores. In 2016, CEO Doug McMillon purchased Jet.com for $3 billion and put Jet.com's CEO Mark Lohr in charge of running Walmart's online business. A case in point is the company's online tire service, which allows you to order automobile tires to be picked up and mounted at a Walmart tire center. Customers can order prescription refills for delivery by mail or for pickup at a Walmart pharmacy department. Walmart's online photo service, in addition to providing a way to store pictures on the web, allows customers to send digital pictures to be printed in a Walmart store of their choice, with a 1-hour turnaround. 23. Concept check. How can brick-and-mortar stores use technology to compete with online giants such as Amazon? What factors contribute to the internet's soaring growth in retailing?